All right, so guys, this is a problem. This is number 8 out of 2.5, and it says the graph of a linear function is shown to the right. Identify the slope, the y-intercept, and the x-intercept, and then write an equation that defines f. Okay, so the question was, how do we find the student was asking, how do I find the x-intercept? So right here, okay. So this is how we're going to do it. Let's go ahead and answer their other questions. So remember, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, what's the slope? Now remember what we call the slope. We call it the rise over the run, okay? So if I look at my graph here, I got a point right there, oops. I got a point right there, and I got another one right here. So since this line is going down, our slope's gonna be negative. So to get from this one point to that one, we gotta move down 1, so that's a -1, and I gotta move over 1, 2, 3, 4. So our slope is -1/4, and if you notice, they already had that right, okay? The second thing was we're gonna find the y-intercept. Now remember what the y-intercept means. The y-intercept means where does the graph cross this line? And so if you notice, the graph hits this line right here at 0, 2. So my y-intercept is at the point 0, 2. Now I know it's asking me to find the x-intercept, and we're going to do that right now. But one of the things we've been talking about so far here in chapter 2 is this form, y equals mx plus b. And so right now we already know the m and we already know the b. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it like this: y equals -1/4x plus 2. Okay, so I know I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I want to do this so that I can answer the question about the x-intercept. Now the x-intercept means where does the graph cross the x-axis? And if you notice, by looking at the picture, I know it's going to cross it somewhere over here, but we just don't know, right? Looking at the picture, it's not going to tell us. So just like we did in the y-intercept, the x value is 0. Well, in the x-intercept, the y value is going to be 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this equation right here, and everywhere I have a y, I'm going to put a 0, and now I'm going to solve this equation for the letter x. So since I'm trying to get the x by itself, I'm going to bring this guy over. So when I cross the equal sign, remember, the sign of my term is going to change. And the way I get rid of the 1/4 is I can multiply it by 4/1. But if I do it on that side, I got to do it on this side too. Okay, so this 4 and this 4 will cancel. So with those 1s, that's going to leave me with an x. And 2 times 4 is just going to give me with 8. So my x-intercept is the point 80. And then the last part here says, what's the equation of our line? All we're doing is we're putting this piece right here, right there. Okay, so the question really was, how do I find the x-intercept? This part right here allows me to find that x-intercept, okay? And the way I find the x-intercept is once I know what my equation looks like, where the y used to be, we put the number 0 and we solve it for x. Y'all got any questions? Please let me know. I'm happy to help.